Thanks again for tuning into yet another video. We are riding the Carbon FTR. I rode the which did I ride last year? I can't remember. I thought this one had the lower seat. Yeah, I can't flat foot it. Kinda. Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on. What the hell? Oh, it's forward. Getting used to this. Oof. I am tippy-toeing this bike. We are gonna have to get used to it. What other modes do we have on this thing? Is there any other modes on this? Friction zone feels pretty good. Is there sport mode? I'm pretty sure there's a sport mode on this. Yeah, you're lean forward a lot more. Of course, this is not your typical cruiser, of course. But man, this bike looks amazing. I like the carbon fiber. You have the speed screen, that's carbon fiber. You have the fender, carbon fiber. You have Öhlins. You have a lot on this bike, and it's only what, $17,000? $2,000 more than the Sportster S, and you get I believe the same performance, 120 horsepower. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the Sportster S. Brembo brakes, ABS, all of that, cruise control, that's all standard with this one. Yes, there's a lot of stuff to like on this bike. I mean, like I said, I test rode this one last year. I like the overall look. I think Dan the fireman owns one of these, right? He owns an FTR. It's a good looking bike. I really like the overall design. Yeah, it's just a little tall for me. I believe this might be 29 or 30 inch seat height. So you have a liquid cooled V-twin on this one. Yeah, my feet are a little bit behind me. So like I said, you're lean forward a little bit more, not too much, kind of like on a CBR, a little bit of in between upright and sport bike feel, but she feels really light. And that's because it's all carbon fiber. I believe it's under 500 pounds, right? Yeah, it's 479, so it's really light. I can't really hear the exhaust. I know it's got some pipes on it, but I can't really hear the exhaust. But man, she's light. Yeah, hopefully we get to open her up a little bit more. This is the FTR S. I can't remember which one I test rode last year, but it was the burgundy one. So does this one have the pipes? Yeah, it does. It has those what is that, how do you pronounce that? Akrapovic. It's got the Akrapovic exhaust. But this one's got the Öhlins. It's got all the bells and whistles. So yeah, I mean, I can still kind of flat foot the bike, barely. Let's go. Sounded like he stalled the bike. So there we go. So we are in standard mode, all right. We're still in standard. We just got to get used to it, all right. Don't go putting this thing in sport mode without knowing the full friction zone and how it handles the balance, all that good stuff. You guys just have to be careful on your first ride. There's been experienced riders that get on a different bike and has a different friction zone, and sometimes they do end up dropping the bike, even though they have time riding. I mean, it just happens. It happens to everybody. Nothing to be ashamed about. But yeah, I mean, I dig this overall look. I like everything about the bike, the stance, the wheels, everything, the whole design of the FTR. I'm a huge fan of it. I just like modifying my bikes. I like changing them up. I like putting fairings. I like putting tall risers. You know, changing a lot of that stuff. I mean, you make it yours. So that's why I always lean towards cruisers. There's just the aftermarket support is there. I like changing it up. I mean, that's just me. I like making it my own. So that's why I went ahead and I got myself a Roadster. But you know, this would be fun to have. I mean, if I could find one for, you know, the right price. Oof, wow, there's some potholes back there. I thought I was gonna feel them. I was kind of bracing for it, but surprisingly, the suspension is, you know, it's really good. It's really good. Definitely a lot better than the Scout, that's for sure. So we lost a little bit of the group. We're gonna go ahead and kick this into sport mode. Now we're in sport mode, and like I mentioned in my other videos, I like being able to, you know, change it up, change the tune, change the feel of the bike. It just completely changes the overall feel of the bike when you have those riding modes. I like them. I like Indian. I like that Indian introduced that with their Chief lineup, to have that those riding modes. It just changes the overall feel of the bike. You know, it gives you that stage 2 feel. It does. It completely changes it. I have a Dyno Jet tune. If you guys are watching my other videos, I already mentioned this. I have a Dyno Jet tune, and you could change the map, you could change the feel of the bike, but you would have to shut the bike off, let the tune load, and then you would have to wait about 10 to 15 seconds. With the riding modes like the Sportster and like the Chiefs and the FTRs, you don't have to do that. You just push the button and you have a completely different bike. You're riding 2-up, no problem. Put it in rain mode, touring mode. If you just, you know, want to ride around town, because on the Chief the throttle's really twitchy. There's no, you know, there's no issues. Just put it in standard mode. You have a little bit more of a, you know, chill ride. And if you have to, like if you're getting into the freeway, of course, you know, put that thing in sport mode. You wanna let the engine stretch out its legs, you could do that. You know, just put it in sport mode. And you know, there's some of us that could get used to. We could get used to the throttle response, but it's always nice to just, you know, to be able to have all the different riding modes. So here we are, waiting for the light. I'm still, you know, I'm still reaching the floor or the pavement on both my legs, but I am tippy-toeing. So I mean, if you're starting out, this probably isn't the right bike for you. You should probably consider like a Scout. And I always mention this, something that's light, something that's not too bad. I mean, you could start out on one of these bikes. You could start out on a 116. You know, there's been a few people that have mentioned, you know what, this is my first bike, especially in the Facebook group. Yeah, I mean, they're great bikes. They weigh over 600 pounds. They're not, you know, they're not that bad, but just the weight wise, I would always recommend getting something that's under, you know, 500 pounds, something that's a little bit lighter, just so you can have that confidence. You know, heavier bikes, first time riders, doesn't really mix. You never get, you know, build out that confidence of slow turning and slow riding, you know, just low speed riding. All right. We just finished some highway riding, freeway riding. Holy wow, man, my chest just sinks back. Yeah, man, this thing's fun. Yeah, the suspension is amazing. The Öhlins, forks, rear, everything is soaked it up like nothing. I saw a couple potholes and I was kind of bracing myself, and after going over them, I was like, that ain't bad at all. Sport mode feels amazing, you know, yet again. I was like, man, that's at what, 40%, 30% throttle? Wow, this thing is an amazing machine. The engine, it's been around for a while now. It's got, you know, it's got a couple years, so you know Indian's already fixed all the imperfections and, you know, all that good stuff. You guys already saw my video on the Revolution Max. It's got some issues, so I believe the carbon or the FTR's been out for what, 4 years? So I'm pretty sure they already worked out all the kinks. You know, it's a good purchase at what is it, 17,000? Man, it's a great bike.